And the Cape Town Cycle Tour is the latest mass participation event to postpone its annual race. In a statement released yesterday, the organisers said for several months we've been working hand in hand with the authorities and stakeholders around the possibility of hosting a significantly revised version of the tour. Sadly, current circumstances make the hosting of a mass participation event in any format untenable for the immediate future. Director of the Cape Town Cycle Tour Trust, Dave Bellairs, joins me on Zoom now. A very good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, great to be with you.
Dave, in the statement you mentioned a revised version. So what were some of the options that you were investigating?
So we looked at reducing the numbers significantly. We looked at a revised start. What we needed to do is take away the pinch points, obviously, for those that ride the cycle tour. You know that we gather the folk at the start, put them into large pens and set them off in big batches. We'd revised that completely, do with a free flow start, not dissimilar to what you see happening in Cape Town on the weekends with thousands of people riding on the road. So it was about taking away the pinch points and making the event as socially responsible as possible.
Why were none of these revised versions able then to actually put the event still on in March?
Well, I think what we needed to do is the planning was done on the basis that we'd be in a more normal situation than we are now. Now, the difficulty for us is to open entries for an event of 20,000 people, 18,000 people. At this point, with COVID sitting right at the top of our second peak, would be irresponsible. We don't know what's going to be happening in 6 to 8 weeks' time, and we're now on deadline in terms of our production. So it simply means that we needed to make the responsible decision. It's not just about the safety of the athletes, it's about the safety of the residents of the city of Cape Town. It's about the pressure that gets put on our hospital system. And in conjunction with the city of Cape Town and our medical partners, Mediclinic, we've made this very tough decision, but easy decision. It really is. It's something that just has to be done.
Yeah. You're non-committal about a future date. When are you looking at perhaps putting on the event?
So reasonably, we are in discussions with the city. It's not as simple as it seems. There are obviously other major events in South Africa that are taking place throughout the balance of the year. A lot of events have repositioned themselves and their facilities that we need to use. So we're hoping that we'll be able to announce a date in the last quarter, early in the last quarter, to sort of September, October is the period we're looking at. That'll give us sufficient daylight and we hope sufficiently far enough away from the current pandemic, and we hope things are flattened out by then.
Is the hope also to have it, as we traditionally understand the Cape Town Cycle Tour, to go ahead?
I think we'll monitor the situation. We'll plan for both, as we have done. We have 3 or 4 different scenarios that we plan out. And we're not going to leave people high and dry. We've got some exciting things planned for the 14th of March that will allow people around the world to enjoy the Cape Town Cycle Tour in a different format, not gathering in large mass groups. But we will plan for different formats for the end of the year to make sure that we're able to get something on the road so that people can get out and do their thing. I think the important thing to remember is that this is an event that raises huge amounts of money for charity. It is, at its very core, an event that raises money for the communities around South Africa, those in need. And we need to keep that momentum going.
You mentioned the money raised for charity. Can you share with us how much you managed to raise last year?
The figure I have in my head is the last 10 years we've raised over 100 million. The exact amount from last year I couldn't give you now, but over the last 10 years we've raised over 100 million rand that's gone into a variety of charities, both here in the Western Cape and around South Africa.
Cycling's an incredibly popular sport. The national cycling calendar is quite fluid at the moment, but will there be a potential date where you guys have got, where you're eyeing at the moment in that final quarter, September, October?
So yes, we have earmarked a date. We don't want to announce it because obviously there are facilities and the processes that we need to go through with the city. We're working very closely with the other sporting organisations. We need to understand what else is on the calendar. We're also working closely with Cycling South Africa, and making sure that we maximise the opportunity for cyclists. It isn't just about us, it's about cycling as a sport, and we need to make sure that we're giving people opportunity around South Africa to ride their bikes. So those are all part of the process that's taking place now. And we should be able to make an announcement in the next 10 days to 2 weeks.
Lovely stuff, and we'll be keeping an eye out for that. Thank you very much. That is Dave Bellairs, the director of the Cape Town Cycle Tour Trust. The organisers announcing yesterday that the event will not be taking place in March, but